So you're welcome to AutoCAD class. Here we'll be looking at what is AutoCAD, who uses AutoCAD, how is it being used. It's a pity that we won't be having a physical class session. We'll be doing we won't be having a physical class session where we can have a practical demonstration on how to use AutoCAD. Okay, but however, I'll try as much as I can to be practical about this class, because AutoCAD is a practical course. It's a practical course. So hopefully, if I'm able to have a live demonstration on some of the things, I'll be taking you on the theoretical part so that I can see how AutoCAD looks like. However, if you really want to enjoy this class, in the terms of, by the time we get to the practical aspect, which will be basically the next class after today, you need to get to go and install AutoCAD on your laptop or your desktop computer. For those of you that have, if you don't have a personal laptop, you don't have a personal desktop computer, if you can get anybody around you, you know, your friends around you in your area where you stay that has a laptop or a desktop computer, luckily there's going to be ease of movement from next week. So if AutoCAD is not installed on that system, you can try and reach out and buy the software and then install. Basically, if you want to install the software, buy the AutoCAD 2013 upward. Version 2013 upward is what you should buy. That is what I'm recommending for you. Don't buy anything less than the 2013 version, okay? So that you can have a wonderful experience, whatever I will be taking you, so that we can have the same window experience. So that what I'll be doing will not be different or totally different for what you'll be seeing and what you'll be doing. Okay? So what is AutoCAD? AutoCAD is a short form for computer aided design. CAD means computer aided design. So that means we are talking about, now you include the auto, it means automatic computer aided design. Okay, and it's basically a software that is used for design purpose. Usually, for those of you that are familiar with the people that are in the profession of architecture or civil engineers, in fact, general engineering, you know, they do drawings, okay? And for architectures, basically what they do is they have something like if you remember in secondary school, those of you that did what we call technical drawing, there is a flat base like this where you have the ruler, and then whenever we want to draw any basic design, you will put your paper and spread it upon that flat board, and then you bring out your ruler, and then you can begin to draw. And then we have, in addition, we have what we call the compass. In your compass set, you have a lot of equipment there that you can also use to draw a circle, semicircle. You know, you have an instrument that you can use to mark different points. Okay, now you used to mark different points. So, but one of the things about the same thing that the architects use, you know, in TD in secondary school, that board with the ruler that we use is typically what the architectures in particular use when they are doing their drawing. Okay, and then they have a more bigger and sophisticated tools that they use. The rulers are more sophisticated, longer. They use more bigger cleaners and the rest like that. And then they begin to draw. They have a bigger space. Most times the table, very clean, flat, are usually white painted tables that they use. And then they draw. Now in their drawing, you will agree with me that there will be areas where they will make mistakes, and that's why they have the cleaners that they can always clean when there are mistakes, and rest like that, and then they arrive at a particular design eventually at the end of the day. And sometimes when they do these drawings, it takes them weeks, months before they can finish on a particular drawing. Okay, the same thing for engineers too. Engineers, you know, we have people that we call structural engineers. Structural engineers are engineers that are focused on the structure of a particular building or infrastructure. So if you have a house, you want to build a house, whether it's a bungalow, whether it's a flat, whether it's face me or face you, you have structural engineers that looks at the structure of that building to know how standard it is. Can it withstand a whole lot of things like earthquake, earth tremor, waves, pressure, wind, and the rest like that. Even your screwdriver. Do you know that your screwdriver, before they can design it, before they can manufacture a screwdriver, there has to be a drawing that will show how that screwdriver will look like. And it is with the aid of this drawing that they are able to identify how the screwdriver will look like. Even your phone charger that you use, there is a drawing behind it. They don't just design or manufacture, they just manufacture a charger. There is a design that comes with it. First of all, because we are now in an age where you can do graphic design, effectively. So you can first have a conceptualization of it in a graphic design. But then, in the technicality of now manufacturing that charger, okay, that has been designed using maybe CorelDRAW or Photoshop, has to be designed in such a way that it will go in line with the manufacturing requirements. And that is why you still have your, so that's why those design will now have to be designed in such a way that measurements comes into play. Then you measure, okay, what is the width? How is the width going to look like? How is the height going to look like? In the shaping, how it's going to look like? The construction, the diameter. They now take all those measurements into place. Now it is this measurement, after pulling together, we know whether this design that you have done in CorelDRAW or in Photoshop can actually come to life. Okay, and in doing that, there will be modifications, definitely. So now with the AutoCAD, AutoCAD makes it more convenient. That is you can do your design of an object or a structure in CorelDRAW, in Photoshop, and whatever, and then when it comes to manufacturing that item or constructing it, then you can now bring it in to your AutoCAD. Then the AutoCAD, the advantage of what AutoCAD does is that it now gives you a precise measurement of that object or that building you want to construct or that object you want to manufacture. So it now brings, the AutoCAD software helps you to bring measurement into it. So you'll be able to know the various dimensions, the height, the width. If you want to use, there are different measurements. You have inches, millimeters, centimeters, and also stuff like you can use to measure the object or the design itself. So the AutoCAD makes it simple. So you have a transition from the board, which is a manual way of design that the typical architecture people use, to a computer base. So the computer base of the design or the drawing is the AutoCAD. And this is being done with the aid of what we call a software. We call the AutoCAD software. Okay, and we'll be learning about the AutoCAD software. And one of the things we'll also be doing in our course is that there are different tools when it comes to the AutoCAD software. When you install the software, we have different tools that are available. Tools that are available for you to use, that you can use to now, bring the conceptualization into real life. Okay, and then you can see it. The bridges that are being constructed here and there, they are conceptualization that are being brought to life using AutoCAD. To know the measurements, how will it be constructed, how and where is it going to face, and then one of the beauty of it is that there's what we call simulation, and they also have a software for that. We call it software simulation. And what is simulation? Simulation is a software, okay, that brings an object into a real life scenario to know whether it can withstand a whole lot of incidents, from natural disasters of a fire, earthquake, pressure, and the rest. Okay, I want to believe you have your pen and your paper, you are writing what I'm saying. If you need me to do a recap before I move forward, I need you to call my attention. I want to be sure that we are on the same page and we are following together. Okay, so when a bridge is being designed, let's say you just have a concept of a beautiful design of a bridge, and then you design it in CorelDRAW or you design it in a Photoshop. Now there's a need for us to bring it to AutoCAD and now design it based on measurements. Now what have you have done? Is it realistic based on the measurements? The measurement will now show us whether that design can actually be conceptualized. Okay, there's need for adjustment when necessary to make it close to it. That will be done. And then after all design have been done, we now take that design from AutoCAD to a simulation software. Now the simulation software, you can test for pressure, you can test for wind, you can test for heat, you can test for fire, and a whole lot of others. Okay, so for the bridge, you can test for pressure to know if there is so much pressure, or if there is so much load, or if there is so much weight, how long can this bridge stand? Okay, if the total volume of weight passes at so minutes or seconds, how long would it take for this bridge to experience wear and tear? In terms of mass distress, if there is an earthquake, what will happen? So with that, they can be able to know what is the depth, looking at the nature of the soil of where we are going to construct this bridge. What is the depth that we need to go to create the foundation for this bridge? Same thing for buildings too. Okay, so all these designs are done in simulation to ensure that yes, this design can stand the test of time in the actual real life scenario. So a simulation makes you to see how your object or your structure can withstand real life scenario. Okay, how it can withstand real life scenario. So let's move on. AutoCAD. Now there are different versions of AutoCAD. There are different versions of AutoCAD, and these versions are based on the upgrade. They are based on upgrades. So we have, if you go to the market, you can see AutoCAD 7, you see AutoCAD 10, you see AutoCAD 2003, you see AutoCAD 2011, 2013, 2015, 2016, even 2018. You see them up to that various versions. Those are upgraded versions. And usually what upgraded versions do is that it improves on the features. What they do is that they improve on the features and the functionalities of the software. and the functionality of the software. So, and then the look and feel of that software too is also improved upon. The look and feel is also improved upon. Okay. It's also improved upon. So now on my screen, I'm sure you will have been seeing AutoCAD basics. So we'll be looking at the various commands that are available on AutoCAD. Now, there's one thing I need you to also note, that in AutoCAD, the tools, the various tools that we use, AutoCAD is just like those of you that are familiar with drawing software like CorelDRAW, Photoshop, and the rest. There are tools that are available that allows you to be able to draw the circle, allows you to be able to type text, allows you to be able to draw basic shapes, tools that allows you to be able to give colors, tools that allow you to be able to change measurements, and just like that. The same thing is available and applicable in AutoCAD. You have all these tools. However, in the use of these tools, there are two ways you apply these tools in AutoCAD. How? The first way is that you can use your click and drag to apply or use any tool. And the second option is that you can use what we call a command line or a command to implement a particular tool. Those of us who probably may have learned programming, you may have probably learned how to use command. Or those of you that are system engineers back in those days that we used to install operating system up to Windows 98 using command prompts. You understand what I mean by using command. But however, there is nothing too technical about it. It's just about you saying, oh, I need this measurement to be placed inside here, this drawing to be done here using the various dimensions are applicable, okay? But we may not be able to go into details about how to use command, okay? But we'll focus more on how to actually use the click and drag to apply or use each of the tools. So what are the different tools that we have? So we have the line tools. We have the line tools. The line tool is used to draw line, and it also has a command that you can use. The line tool. The line tool you can use to draw line, and the line can be drawn horizontally, can be drawn vertically, diagonally, from top left to top down, top right to top left down. There is also called the polygon tool. The polygon tool also has a command for you to be able to apply it. So the polygon tool allows you or enables you to be able to draw a polygon shape. Okay, can you be able to use to draw a polygon shape? We also have the rectangle tool. With the rectangle tool, you can be able to draw a rectangle shape. A rectangle shape. It also has a command, as you can see on the screen. We also have the circle tool. Circle tool, which can be used to draw circle as well. Then we have the ellipse tool. The ellipse tool, you can be able to draw an ellipse. An ellipse usually looks like an oval shape, not really a circle, but usually like oval shape. Then we have what we call the edit. The edit portion. Initially, the first thing we talked about is the drawing tools. Now we have the editing tools. Editing tools, under it we have the erase. Erase, that means when there's an error, you can use it to clean up what you have typed or what you have drawn. Okay, that is what we use erase tools for. And also have the command. We have the copy tool. Copy tool means that maybe you have drawn an object or you have drawn a shape and you don't want to redraw it again. You can copy it so that you have two copies of the same, or two copies of the same object or drawing. So you can copy, just like you are doing photocopy. You have two items. You have your original, you have your photocopy. Okay, so you have the copy to copy your item. Okay, it's just that the way it works is different from those of you that are familiar with Microsoft Word. You know, Microsoft Word, you do copy, you do paste. Okay, so this one is also copy, but the way it works is different when you are pasting it. Then we have the offset. Sorry, the mirror tool. The mirror tool allows you to be able to mirror an object or to be able to mirror a shape that you have drawn. Okay, so you can mirror a shape, you can mirror an object, you can mirror whatever you have drawn, and that's why it's own command prompt that you can use to implement that. We have the offset tool. Offset tool, which also has its own command. We have the extend tool. Extend is used to extend a shape or a diagram. You've drawn a shape or a diagram and you want to extend it, you know, probably in all the dimension. Like if you draw a rectangle, I now want to extend that, and that is, you want to increase the size of that rectangle. That's what you mean. Extend means to increase the size of an existing object. Okay, and then you determine how big or how far you want to expand that size. Then we have the array tool. Oh, array tool is such a wonderful and a lovely tool. If you have time to demonstrate in a practical session, you will appreciate the arrow tool, what it does. Okay, and what arrow tool does is that it even makes your job simpler, because the arrow tools it comes in two types. You have the rectangular format of using the array tool, and you have the circular format of using the array tool. And it's great for multiplying or duplicating a particular object. If you don't want to start designing a particular object or a shape all over, and you wanted to follow a particular pattern, then you can use the array tool. So the array tool, it has the rectangular pattern, the circle pattern. Then we have the move. Move tool is used to move an object from one place to another place. Okay, you use move to move an object from one place to another place. So just like when you have your phone on your table, and then you want to move it from point A and then move it to another point on your table at point B. Okay, so move is not copy, okay, and it's not cut, but just that it works as if it's cut, because originally, you know, when you do cut and paste, cut means the entire content goes away, and then whenever you do paste, the entire content appears there. Okay, but here it's like in Word, which is two commands, cut and then paste. But here this move does it once. It just takes it and puts it in another place. That's move. Okay, so it does these two functions simultaneously. Then we have the rotate tool. The rotate tool. That means if you want to rotate an object, okay, you click on that tool and use to rotate an object or a shape or an image or whatever you have drawn. Then we have the scale tool. The scale tool is much different from the extend tool in such a way that when you use scale tool, you can increase the size of an object as big as you want. Okay, so it's used to scale up. So from the word scale, it's used to scale up an object or a design. Then we have the trim command, or the trim tool rather, which also has its own command. The trim tool is used to trim an object or a design or a shape. Okay, just like when you have a rope now, you use scissors or you use blade to cut it to reduce the size, called trim. Then we have the chamfer tool. The chamfer tool is also a great tool in AutoCAD. Okay, together with the fillet tool. The fillet tool also is a great tool in AutoCAD. Fillet tool, chamfer tool is a great tool. I'll try as much as possible to see that these unique tools, I try and see how I can demonstrate it. And it will be good if when I'm demonstrating in our next class, you too can also, practice it, and be able to get how it works, So those are all those fall under the edit tools or the edit command tools, as case may be. Then we have what we call the coordinate entry. The coordinate entry. Okay. You have the XYZ coordinate entry system. You have the angular measurement. You have the absolute coordinate entry. You have the relative coordinate entry. You have the polar coordinate entry. Okay. Okay. So now the question you ask is, what are these and what are these and what are they used for? How do they work? Okay. So now one beautiful thing that AutoCAD gives us is that apart from you being able to have a 2D design, you can also have a 3D design with your AutoCAD. Isn't that wonderful? When you design on CorelDRAW and or Photoshop, usually what you have is a vector design or a vector graphics. You can't have a 3D design. But in AutoCAD, your designs can come out in 3D format. You can do a 3D design. And that's the beauty of AutoCAD. Now you're asking, what do we mean by 3D design or 3D shape or 3D format? What it means is that for any object or for any design you do, you can see how it looks in a 360-degree manner. That is, let me give you a similar one thing you can include as I understand. Let's take your phone charger, for example. If you have it with you, just hold your phone charger. And then look at that design. Look at your phone charger. You discover that by the time you start turning your hand round, that's turning your charger around or turning it up and down, you can see almost every part or almost everywhere of your charger. Okay, that is the beauty of 3D. In your AutoCAD, you can see different dimensions of your design at any point in time that you want it. Unlike Photoshop or CorelDRAW, you can only see one side that you have designed. Are you getting me now? You can only see one side you have designed. But in AutoCAD, you can see all the sides. There's what we call front view, back view, left view, right view, down view, top view. You can even see angular view. Using your AutoCAD drawing, you can see angular views, either from up, from sideways, from down. You can see angular views. And this XYZ coordinate is what makes the 3D view realistic. So that's the point where I'm going. XYZ coordinate is what makes the 3D view realistic. In your graphs, your mathematical graph, you have X and Y axis. Am I right? If you go back to your mathematics, you have the X axis, you have the Y axis. The Z axis is what makes the 3D comes into play. Okay? So in your CorelDRAW and Photoshop, what you basically have is your X and Y axis. You don't have the Z axis. But in AutoCAD, you have the Z axis, and that's why you have ability to have your 3D view of the object. Okay? And then we have the angular measurement. You can use to measure the angular point view of your design. We have the absolute coordinate entry, relative coordinate entry for your designs as well. Then we have what we call the O-snap. OSNAPs, under it, we have these special tools. Under OSNAP, we have the endpoint, we have the intersection, the nearest, you have the midpoint, you have the tangent, center, free, OSNAP. Now, those ones, that's what I'll try and explain to you, but you probably may not get it until I actually demonstrate to you. Okay. So we have now you may be familiar with this, of that familiar with softwares. You have the open, the new, save, and exit. Okay. Here we have in AutoCAD is called Q new. Unlike other software, just have new. Where a new is basically to create a new working document. You create a new page. Okay. Then open is to use to open an existing work that has been saved on your system. To open an existing AutoCAD file that has been saved on your system. And then you have save. Save is used to save your work. So whatever drawings you have done with AutoCAD, with this platform, you can be able to do that. Okay, you can be able to do that. Then we have the layers, the ones we call layers. The ones we call layers. We have create new layer, assign layer color, assign layer line type. Now, all these ones are the in-depth knowledge of AutoCAD. And what we do is that when you create layers, for those of us that are familiar with Photoshop, you know there's an application or a tool called Photoshop that is layers, where you can have double layer and you can switch your work from one layer to another layer, so that whatever you do at one layer, is independent on its own, and you can always remove it or add from it at any point in time without distorting your entire drawing or designs, as the case may be. So when you create a layer, you can also assign a layer color. Now, assigning a layer color so that you can be able to know the different layers. So that means you can have 5 layers created on your drawing, different layers. So for you to be able to identify which layer is which, you can now give each layer colors, so that this new layer color is for this particular level of work. This red layer color is for that level of work. So you'll be able to switch. It's easier for you to switch from one point to another. Just like people that are familiar with Photoshop, when they create layers, by the right side, by the right bottom side, these layers are there independently. So you can always switch from one layer to another layer to make editing or whatever as the case may be. Okay. Then we have text in a drawing. Okay, before text, let's look at dimensions. Dimensions. Like I said to you, the AutoCAD works with dimensions, with measurements. Okay, and I said earlier that you have your measurements. You could have it in inches, in feet, in inches, in feet, in millimeters, in centimeters. Different measuring method or options are available under these dimensions. Okay, so you can activate any dimensions you want, even degrees. Degrees is available in your drawing. Okay, and then if you go to this dimension tool, you'll be able to set the dimensions of your drawing. So you can always set the dimensions of your drawing before you start work or in the course of your works, and you can even switch from one dimension to another dimension. You can always switch your dimensions at any point in time, depending on what you are doing and the needs for that. Then we have text in a drawing. Text in a drawing. You have the dtext, you have the DD edit. You have the dtext and you have the DD edit. What we are saying here is that Apart from the fact that we have a text tool. The text tool is your D text, and to edit your text tool is your DD edit. What we are saying here is that it's not only drawing that you can do on AutoCAD. You can also type text. You can type text on your AutoCAD. Okay? You can type text on your AutoCAD. Like a name, you can type a name or whatever that you want, you know. Your text tool is also applicable on AutoCAD. It's not only about drawing alone, but you can also put text. So the D text used to apply text, and then you want to edit your text, you just click on that tool, and then you can be able to edit the text that you have typed. Okay. Then we have what we call the zoom tool or the zoom command. The zoom tool allows you to be able to increase or decrease the magnification of your screen or your object or your drawing, as the case may be. That is, zoom is used to reduce the size, the viewing size, or decrease the viewing size of your designs. Okay. Then, so under the zoom, we have the zoom RealTime. We have the zoom RealTime, zoom window, zoom figures, zoom all, and then we have the pan RealTime. Now I'll explain the difference between the pan RealTime for you. Now for the zoom RealTime, zoom window, zoom previous. Zoom previous is maybe you have zoomed a particular object and you now want to zoom it back again, so that you don't have to to waste time doing that. It's like a shortcut for zooming. That's the zoom period. Zoom window is you just want to zoom the entire window screen. Okay, you want to give you the entire window screen at the same time. And then zoom RealTime is to zoom in to your object. Then zoom all is you want to zoom all the things, all your drawings. This time around, it is the zooming of your drawing is smaller to the window zoom view. Okay, and then the pan RealTime. For the pan RealTime, you have it's like a hand, and what that does is that it just drags your screen. You need to drag your screen. So if you have zoomed a particular point, you can now use the pan RealTime like an hand to now. You don't want to zoom again, then you can use to shift or drag your screen either left or right, up or down, or whatever side direction you want to move your screen or your desktop, as case may be. Then we have the plot command. This is basically a command to draw plots. You have the auto, you have the escape key, you have the how commands work. It's also always available in your AutoCAD. If you want to learn how the commands work, it's a tool that gives you the learning experience of how your commands work. Then we have what we call the typical drawing setup. Typical drawing setup. We have the auto, snap, units, and limits. What it means is that you want to set up how you do your drawings. You can use the auto mode, snap mode, units mode, or the limits tool mode. Okay, so you to set up your drawing. Then we already talked about zoom all. Then you have the set layers. You're going to set your layer. Then you have the textile command, and you have the undo or the redo, just like your other software. You can redo and you can undo. Okay, you can redo and you can undo whatever you have done. So you can undo it, or you want to bring it back, do what you redo it. Okay, so let me give you a typical example of how an AutoCAD screen looks like. Can you see? This is a typical view of how an AutoCAD screen looks like. This is a typical screen of how an AutoCAD screen looks like. As you can see, you have the indications that are here. It shows you on top here. If you can see my mouse. Let me see if I can use a pen here. So that we can have a wonderful experience on this. Hello? Okay. All right, my time is up. So just to show you, this is your screen. This is how it looks like. So in the next class, this is how it typically looks like. In the next class, I'll show you how it looks like in real details, and then in real life, you have that experience. So I want you to go and install AutoCAD on your laptop or your desktop. If you don't have one, go and get, so that you can have a practical experience of AutoCAD design. Okay? Any question? Any question?